Sitting here with Justin Lanclos from Spypoint, live at the SHOT Show. We've been bringing the heat all day, man. Hope y'all enjoying it. Men, women, and children, and everybody out there. And we just found out, I was sitting here talking to Justin, he is from South Louisiana, so he's down by what used to be known as the Gulf of Mexico, now the Gulf of America.
That's right.
That's what we just hear.
That's it, man. I'm real close, and funny story, being from Louisiana, we've got a particular accent. My oldest son that I was just telling you about, for the first few years of his life, he had a Georgia accent. Would you like to guess why?
Why is that?
All those Monster Butt DVDs.
No way.
That's the one thing I want to tell you, man, is that kid had a Georgia accent until he was probably 5 or 6. I was like, dude,
I know
you're in Louisiana. We got to fix this.
We got to fix this.
We're Tiger fans, not Bulldog fans.
That is crazy. Yeah, I never thought about that. All those Monster Bucks, you had David Blanton, myself, Bill.
It was more David than anybody else.
David, awesome. Yeah, yeah. That is crazy, man.
Funny story.
And dude, we were sitting there talking too, just before we started rolling. Your son is fishing competitively in bass fishing and work fishing in college now, right?
Yeah, so he's a senior in high school, and so he's wrapping that up. His youngest brother, in fact, we've got our first tournament of them together, the regular season, this weekend. So when I get home Thursday night, they're going to have the boat and truck ready.
They're on the same team.
They're on the same team this year. I got a senior and a freshman together.
So you going to be the boat captain?
I am the boat captain. Yeah.
Dude, that is so cool.
They're actually their first tournament they ever fished together in September was an open on Sam Rayburn, and they won it. So it was
no way.
His little brother thinks it's easy now. He's like, why haven't you been winning? My first time in the boat. He thinks he's the denominator.
Yeah, where's Van Dam?
Exactly.
Where's Van Dam?
Exactly.
You mean whoop you too?
Yeah, that's a great time. It's a great sport. It's a great way to get kids that don't spend a lot of time in the outdoors. It's a great segue to it.
And it's a good opportunity. Like I said, I was, my son Mason ended up going to college on a fishing scholarship, and so. Who would have ever thought that there's a program that you can be celebrated for bass fishing that you can get your education play for? I mean, in our time, it was you either football, baseball, wrestling, maybe tennis or golf. I mean, there's a lot of sports, but if you wasn't good in sports or any athletic, and of course, for me, I don't know about you, I mean, I didn't have any chance of any athletic scholarships.
Same.
I was just, if I got D's, what is that? D's get degrees. That's
the thing that I hear a lot of times. Is dads or anybody's like, man, if I had that in school, I'd have done a whole lot better. Or I'd have gone to college. As I say, Carter just signed his college commitment last week actually, and that's people like I didn't even know that was a thing. It's cool.
I think there'd be a good documentary to talk about that and show that because these kids and they approach it like. Football.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're going to win a national championship. Where did he end up commit to?
LSUS.
No way, dude.
LSUS, yeah.
That is awesome.
Still, fairly close to home, but a top 10 school in the country. And Coach Charles up there has been phenomenal to him, and we're really excited for him.
Cool. So not too far from mom and dad, but enough to where he can get away from y'all, right?
That's it. Yeah.
That's good.
3.5 hours or so.
That's perfect.
Close enough to bring a whole lot of dirty clothes home. Once a month or so.
Send him home with a bunch of deer meat and hot pockets,
exactly,
and he's ready to go for another couple semesters.
They got some good deer hunting up there too. That's Bossier and Caddo Parish. Louisiana's got. The corner that we're in, it's piney woods and sandy soil, and our deer don't get very big. Carter shot a really good one down there a couple years ago, but our best deer hunting's along the Mississippi River or along the Red River.
Yeah.
And, the far east or west.
I got you. Man, good stuff. Well, what all you got going on at Spypoint, man? I know you got a hell of a responsibility and a lot going on, but what's some of the new things y'all got running?
Man, so this year, so I'll back up a bit. In 2022, we launched the Flex Series, which was a build from the ground up to kind of reinvent what we wanted cell cams to be, which was answering what our users have been asking for, which was simplicity, reliability, and total control. Nothing hokey, nothing gimmicky. We've kind of built a dependence, and a love and an obsession with trail cams, and if they're not easy to use, I'll get messages from my dad who's in his 60s or my neighbor that lives behind me who's in his 70s. How do I do this? I'm like, man, it's literally written in the door, or it's one button, man. How much easier? Do you know how much time and energy we've spent on making that easy, and you're still not reading it? Yeah, we focused on those 3 points, and this year is kind of the pinnacle of the Flex Series for us, well, we've improved really the only things left that we had to improve. And, man, we're really excited about it. We give our users total control of everything from the app now. We introduced the ability to switch back and forth between flashes. Some of those bucks are so wary, that they've, some of us are completely convinced that, and this is like moon phase or anything else, that, if it's not an invisible flash, the bucks know it's there. So we've got that completely invisible flash to give you an option, that you can control from the app. We've improved, simple things like our latch or the copolymer that we've made the shell out of to make it extremely robust, extremely UV resistant, extremely impact resistant. We've made the antenna really flexible. Man, I had a friend who had a camera sticking out from the tree that turkeys would light on it and break the antenna off. This was years past, so we've really honed in on the details to make a tool that has become as essential as we need it to be as hunters, as equally reliable as it is essential to our success.
Man, that's huge, dude. It's amazing where everything's went. But you're exactly right. I'm laughing. You're talking about your father. My dad's 71.
Yeah.
And so anytime there's any kind of cameras, and obviously, it's amazing. I always tell somebody, if you want to know how to work your iPhone, give it to your 5-year-old or your 8-year-old, and they'll kind of show you how to run it. But my dad's the same way. And anything with any technology, my dad thinks it's Google friendly. I don't know where he'll like, that one boy, he Google friendly. He know how to run that trail camera. He Google friendly. Like, Dad, what does Google friendly mean? I guess
it's one of those words I think it's become synonymous with figuring things out.
Tech.
Like, dude, my dad, he's like, I can figure that. I'll YouTube it. That's his thing. He said, I'll YouTube it. There's nothing that I'm not paying somebody to do that for me. I can figure it out with a YouTube video. He'd have the tractor torn apart, the car torn apart. Whatever it is, I YouTubed it. I figured it out.
It is something to be said with that. I mean, even like setting up your trail cameras, like I'm sure y'all went through the same process of like, that'd be dumb for me to go out there and show people how to set up a trail camera. They know it. Like I said, the directions are on the box.
That's it.
But yeah, you're right. Some of the simplest things, and we find it, on Outdoor Channel, like on the MOTV app, used to you think, well, if you got a 30-minute episode of a show, well, that's what everybody wants to see. But they're wanting to see, how do you set up a trail camera? Maybe you don't point them east with the east sun coming up. There's a certain way or certain little things and tactics that we've all learned. And or breasting out a turkey or how to gut a deer.
It's absolutely, the most simple subjects are the ones like that get searched. And if you look, going back from having, like I was talking with you about the Monster Buck DVDs earlier, hours of content down to what we all watch most now, which is 10, 30-second reels.
Boom, yeah.
People are looking at videos, and we make a ton of content like that over, how to set it up, how to point it, how to maximize your detection range, how to get the best flash range, which angle you need to point it down the trail for different trigger speeds. People are consuming content in very small, bite-sized pieces. That's a whole other conversation on where we're going as a society and our attention spans and whatnot. But videos are it, and we don't even put instruction manuals in the box anymore. They're QR codes to scan, that take you to a page that are a whole bunch of videos and whatnot, because that's what our users and everybody else's users are doing now. It's
easy to retain
social and YouTube and very short pieces of info.
Oh, unbelievable of what you can learn now. Like I said, and everything's video. And half the time, especially, and I can say this for my dad, probably your dad, I've always thought instructions, even though they're needed. But even me, I catch myself, I'm the guy that, Christmas, I'm putting together something and I'm following directions. Then I skip from, step 5 all the way to 8. And I'm like, oh my God, that bolt had to go in or it don't work. And I catch myself coming back and backing up and trying to find some video of how to do it.
And it's weird how we try to force that mentality, on ourselves and on consumers, knowing that we as men most likely, I think, don't read. I put together a bed for my son the other day, and I had 2 of the wrong screws left over at the end. And you know what my wife said?
What?
Should have read the instructions. As I had to take it all apart to figure out where I had those screws.
Like, what did I miss?
And I told her, I was like, we are not ordering any more furniture off the internet. We're going somewhere local where they deliver it, and it's in like 3 pieces max.
I agree. Dude. Like, I want it. I'm not buying the grill, the bed anymore, because I don't have the patience. I mean, think about it. You're coming from these shows. Your mind's running a million different directions. You guys are talking to influencers. You're talking to buyers. talking to distributors, and that's what goes on a lot at SHOT Show. You get home, the last thing I can do is put together a bed and expect my wife to be happy with it. You know?
And that's the exact train of thought, that we try to take with the usage of our trail cameras, is making as much of it automatic as possible.
Yes.
Basically putting ourselves in the mind of the hunter that's using it. Okay, what happens if all they do is go out there, flip the on switch, and stick it on a tree?
Batteries,
is it going to work?
Turn it on.
And that's the goal, is for it to absolutely work. We've got a lot of self-diagnostic features in there now where it will recognize, additional battery consumption, things like that, or the networks will switch back and forth automatically now, because it doesn't matter if it's our fault or not. As the user, it's the brand's fault. It don't matter what it is, a knife or a camera, whatever.
Broadhead, and broadheads don't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you got to put the rubber band on it first, or something.
Or it could be, where did you hit the animal?
Exactly,
maybe.
Hamstring's not a good place to put that.
It's not a good place to put it. It is. It's tougher and tougher, because you're right. The simplicity of stuff and just turning a switch on it. And I catch I'm in the same situation, so that's good y'all looking into that, because I want to turn it on at work.
Yeah.
Even the tree stands, I catch myself. You go buy a good deal on a tree stand, you look, and they're a million pieces.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I would pay how much for the floor model that's already put together?
Exactly. I have a total knee replacement 5 surgeries later because I didn't follow instructions in a tree stand.
Really?
That's why I work at Spypoint now, too.
And why you're the best at laying out, hey, this is how simple this needs to be.
I was like, I'm the resident tree fall authority. You got any questions about that? Let me know.
We can mention our 7-year-old dads, but it goes for us too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. I was 30. I don't know. I was in my mid-30s, and looking at a total knee replacement. And I was like, man, this is. I mean, it could have been bad.
Golly.
But man, things like that, and that's another reason that we try to make things simple, is that we've got so much chaos in our lives now, man. Hunting is so much more than a hobby or whatever. I mean, it's our getaway from a lot of stuff. And it's so embedded in who we are, that what technology has become, we try to make that a part of the passion and the tradition, because it's so enjoyable. It's something, again, it's something that I use with my younger son, the video game age of, hey man, here's some technology that we can use, and we've got shared camera access now, so I'm like, hey, here's your own camera and your own account. You can set it all up. We actually offer free plans too, where, I mean, he can completely feel like it's his own, but I can still monitor it back and forth between my account. Trail cams are another great way to get
virtual reality video game, basically.
The young kids into hunting, and that's one of my arguments with live scope, man. I hate to even bring that word up, but that is a great way to get kids in the outdoors, because it's something that they relate with.
I agree, and here's my thing. The way I look at innovation, whether it's in trail cameras or in that case the live scope. You don't have to engage if you don't want to, but it's there. You can have something ramped up, or you can go back down. It's funny, like we got all the bells and whistles in our home and TV, and we got from MOTV app to Netflix, and we can watch movies. But there, every once in a while, we turn everything down and we're playing Monopoly as a family. And so, where do you get off the bus? Where do you get on the bus? I think it's like everything else. We got to manage it. I'm the first guy that picks up my phone probably too much sometimes when I'm with my family. Here, obviously, you got a million appointments. You got your schedule on it. Everything we do is on this small computer that's in our pocket. So we have to learn to manage it. So that's what I tell people when it comes to trail cameras and it comes to all these things. Like, hey, man, it's there. Yeah. It's very useful and it's very fun to engage it. There might be a time you say, hey, I'm going to step away from this and I'm just going to let me see what it's like to go a couple weeks without my trail cameras. And but guess what? As soon as that goes, you might say, hey, I'm going to take a buck inventory. Let me see what I got left. Turn them back on. You can be sitting right there at a business meeting. And I see it all around the SHOT Show. Even now. Ding. Everybody's sitting there like, ding. You're like, I know what that is.
My watch. I mean, you can pull up a thumbnail photo on your watch.
And it is addicting and it's fun. I mean, from security cameras to you name it. My wife will fuss at me for looking at the trail camera, but she's got trail cameras on our driveway. Yeah. And like, it's okay if you look at who come in. Just to, that's this guy, that's coming, or that's my dad. Right. But I'm looking at deer. But
that's the great thing about it, man. It's like you said, you can choose to use it or not. But the fact is that there's something for everybody. And there's a gateway for any type of person, no matter what your background is, to learn to enjoy something that that we grew up with and is a lifestyle and beyond a love for us.
That's exactly right. Well, like I said, Chet Aikens made a big racket with a good acoustical guitar, and he is in history as one of the best guitar players ever. And he mostly played acoustic most of the time. But then Jimi Hendrix come along, and he had it loud and proud, and he's also something. And so there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, as they say. But I just appreciate you coming by, man, chatting with us, man. Have fun at the SHOT Show.
With you.
You too, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.